All right, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Croissant, and today we're going to be going over the announcements and reveals in the June 4th PlayStation State of Play presentation. Now, I was going to make separate videos for each game I'm excited for, but I decided to lump them into a single video since there's other videos I want to get to, and I just need to speed up the process. All right. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to say this presents was meh out of 10. And by meh, I mean, I give it like a 6. Like 5 or 6. Because we got a few new exciting reveals and a few not so exciting reveals. And a lot of remasters and remakes, okay? In this video, I'm going to cover my personal highlights, right? The announcements I found exciting. And we're going to talk about the positives of the state of the play rather than the negatives. Because there's also not so much to talk about, right? About the negatives other than like, I wouldn't like that game or it doesn't look interesting, So the first game I want to talk about is Romeo is a Dead Man. Now, I'm not going to lie, the beginning of the trailer was a bug out, but Romeo is getting his arm eaten by some zombie thing, right? And his friend saves him by stabbing him in the eye with something called a dead gear life support system. And he transforms into Dead Man. And then the gameplay kicks in. And this is like Dead Rising and Chainsaw Man had a baby. Right? You got big ass guns, big ass swords, big ass alien creatures to fight. And obviously the story needs to be fleshed out more, but apparently Romeo Stargazer, that's his last name. That's pretty cool last name. Is an FBI investigator who tracks down criminals across space-time. At least we got some decent gameplay, and it'll be releasing in 2026. Now, the next game I want to talk about is near and dear to my heart, guys. Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles. This is a remaster of the first ever tile-based tactics game I ever played. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. This also happened to be my first Final Fantasy game I've ever played. And I had this on the PSP. It came out in 2007. It had an epic story, right? Like wide variety of classes, ways to set up your team. And I remember sinking hundreds of hours into this game, grinding to max level, unlocking like secret classes, playing against my friends, right? Because you could play online against your friends and their team setups. And I like the new name, Ivalice Chronicles, but War of the Lions sounds better in my opinion. And you'll be able to play the game in classic mode just like 2007, or in the new enhanced mode with a new interface, adjustments and additions to the story, whatever that means, fully voice dialogue, and much more. And it'll be dropping September 30th. Now, I'm hyped because they mentioned there's going to be refined gameplay. So one pet peeve I had about the game, right, was the grindiness of the level system. Like each individual character gained 2 separate experiences, right? One for your level and then one for your class level. And for instance, if your offensive units are one-shotting the enemies, right? And your healers don't need to heal you because you're one-shotting them and they're not hitting you. They're not going to gain any class experience as healers unless they heal something, So maybe they can fix the experience system so it's not so tedious for some classes, right, to level up as fast. On the PlayStation Store, it's listed as $49.99, which is a little steep in my opinion, but I will have to see what other improvements they've done and see if it's not just like a generic remaster, Next game I want to talk about is Hirogami. This one stood out because it reminded me of Paper Mario, Plucky Squire, and a little bit of Little Big Planet, right? Made by Bandai Namco Singapore. We'll be playing as Hirogami as he traverses the world utilizing his origami-like body to transform into different shapes and animals. Guys, like an airplane, frog, armadillo, an ape, that was all in the trailer. It's dropping on PS5 September 3rd for $30. And I feel like that's a pretty fair starting point. For a platformer like this, it's probably got a short story, maybe like 15, 20 hours. So I feel like that's pretty good. Next up is Neo 3. I played a little bit of Neo 1, and the combat is difficult, man. And I'm a Souls guy. I love playing Souls games, but I was struggling with the first boss. And after I beat the first boss, something else came out, and I stepped away from it, and I never got back into it. And I heard good things about the second game, not so good things about certain things. So I have to wait until 2026 to catch up so I can play Neo 3. There is a demo available, and after some searching through the PlayStation Store, I finally found it. I did get it downloaded, and I'll probably have a video up on that later this week. Just, overall thoughts and how it looks and things like that. After this, PlayStation has some bigger announcements. Astrobot getting another free update with more levels and characters from the PlayStation universe. Sword of Sea. It looks like a combo of Abzu and Journey, like both relaxing games. So this is going to be like a chill, relaxing game that's meant to be like a spectacle. They announced a 007 game, a James Bond game, guys, where it'll be the origin story of James Bond before he gets his 00 status. It'll probably be as popular as the Indiana Jones games. The newest one that just came out, if I had to guess, not my cup of tea, but for a full price game, it does look pretty good. I will say graphically it does look good. Last game I wanted to go over was at the end of the State of Play. They announced a new Marvel fighting game called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. And I did not have a Marvel Dragon Ball FighterZ game on my bingo board for this year, but I'll take it because this looks good. And you can tell this game wasn't made in America because the character designs are nice. You got Iron Man in a freaking Gundam suit, Captain America, Spider-Man, who else? Miss Marvel, Star-Lord, Ghost Rider, Doctor Doom, and Storm. So those 8 characters, 4v4 combat. It's interesting. I feel at times Dragon Ball FighterZ felt really busy with the 3 interchangeable characters, but the Marvel Tokon creators mentioned that you can use other team members as assists to your main, or utilize switch-ins to switch up combat on a dime, right? To actually switch in and play that new character. Similar, again, to Dragon Ball FighterZ in that respect. So far we only know about those 8 characters, but they have a pretty good roster for now, I'd say. And I'm going to main Green Goblin as soon as that guy drops. I'm telling you that. And I played a lot of fighters in college, and a lot of the time I was playing local co-op with my boys. I could definitely see myself playing this game day one, but we need to wait and see how the online play is going to perform. Typical, right? Fighting games nowadays, more people are playing online. The online needs to work seamlessly. Shocker, right? Anyway, it'll be dropping sometime next year, and there is no news on price as of now. And that is it for the State of Play. And like I said at the beginning of the video, not too much hype stuff. No Bloodborne remaster. That's never coming. No new Sly Cooper. But I wanted to cover what I got excited for, and I want to hear from y'all. What was your favorite part of the State of Play? Was it Marvel FighterZ? Was it when it ended? When the presentation ended? Do you prefer Dunkin' or Starbucks? Because if I'm getting food and coffee, it's going to be Dunkin', right? But if it's just coffee, Starbucks, it just has better quality coffee. You might have to pay $20 for it, but it's going to be a better cup of coffee. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.